Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good day to all our viewers across the globe, and welcome to another interestingly enthralling episode of Global Arena on my YouTube channel, Global Arena TV. My name is Umar Isa Dandago. As you know, the tradition of this show, we try as much as we can, we try our hardest to handpick different people from different corners of the globe to talk us through their, a plethora of their experiences, both in the academia and in the world at large. My guest today is someone that has traveled a lot as well, and um, well, has some very, very much interesting thoughts and ideas that I believe 100% are worth sharing with us. And I believe there are some issues that we're going to have to do a little bit of debate with him because we're going to have to agree to disagree. Abdoulie Manneh is from the Gambia, the country of Yahya Jammeh. He's currently living in Russia. He went to the University of the Gambia where he completed his BSc in economics. After that, he taught financial accounting while pursuing another degree, of course. In 2013, he went to Taiwan, the disputed island, roughly 100 miles off the coast of Southeast China. There, he pursued his MSc in agricultural economics, of course, something related to economics. And upon graduation from the National Taiwan University, he moved to Russia to reunite with his Russian family. So he's married to a Russian. And I'm going to know in the course of the program how many children they have. Having interest in geopolitics and thirst for knowledge, he decided to go for his second master's degree in international relations at St. Petersburg State University. Which gives him the audacity to speak about the complexities, the complex global issues that happen in the Russian war. Ukraine, of course, is something that we're going to discuss. And even his own politics, I mean, the politics of his own country, the Gambia, during Yahya Jammeh's era, and the subsequent president, Adama Barrow. So he is now working and living in Russia as a corporate English teacher, and he has been doing that for 7 years. He currently teaches employees at Rosatom and Look Oil. Well, this guy has achieved a lot, and he is someone that has a lot of experiences and knowledge from whom we will tap. Well, Abdoulie Manneh, thank you very much indeed for being on the show.
I'm humbled. Thank you for having me.
Well, are you a brother to Sadio Mané, a football player in the UK?
Who wouldn't want to be the brother or a brother to Sadio Mané? Actually, interestingly, my mom's half brother is a cousin to Sadio Mané, but again, we are not related because of our surname. Absolutely, but my uncle, who is a half brother to my mom, is actually a cousin to Sadio Mané via his mom. So we are distant.
I suppose that, yeah, distant relatives, distant cousins.
Yes.
Have you ever met him in person?
No. Have never.
Okay. I understand that he's from a French-speaking country, Senegal or something, right?
Senegal, yes. In the region, the southern part of Senegal, which is Casamance, and Casamance is quite close to Gambia. It's like a border with Gambia, especially the region of Yahya Jammeh, by the way. It's just a border. It's a border in Casamance, and Casamance, Gambia and Senegal, we are just so interrelated. It's just like if you say maybe northern Nigeria, Nigeria, right? People in Niger.
Yeah, Niger Republic. Yes, of course. Yeah, we're very much close to each other. From Sokoto State to Niger Republic, a part of Katsina State to, I think, Jibia, that's part of Katsina State that is bordering Niger Republic. So how did you get this Manneh surname kind of a thing? Is it from your mother or father?
It's father side, so that's why that's what I'm saying. I'm not related to Sadio by our surname. Yeah,
okay,
it's father. Yes, yeah.
That's it. And I'm sure you would love to.
Historically, interestingly, I wanna put forward one historic fact.
Good.
Manes are from Manes, the surname, and Sanes,
Okay.
our region. Historically, when we go back to um, the Kabu Empire, right? Manes were called Nyanchos. Nyanchos were these kind of warriors and also kind of kings and warriors. So they used to take, I mean, the name they gave name of mother.
Okay.
Her name. They took surname from mothers at that time.
Okay. Yeah. So you have also taken your name from your mother?
No, no, this tradition ended long centuries ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the historical background. So let's now move on. Could you briefly introduce yourself? Just beyond what I've done.
Sure. As you said earlier, I think you've said almost everything. Uh, I'm from Gambia, West Africa. So western part of Gambia, so rather. It was a small town, fishing town called Tanje. And I went to the University of the Gambia. Actually, it was the only university in the Gambia by then.
In the
Yes.
capital?
Yeah, kind of thing. At that time we didn't have campus. We had several buildings, several campus from in different towns.
Understand.
Yes. After upon completion of my bachelor's degree, I went to Taiwan. I had a scholarship, but by the way, before I went to Taiwan, I met my wife, and we got married in 2013. Right?
2013.
Yes. Yes.
Is that Russian who you married to?
Yes. 2013, we got married.
How did you meet her? I'm very much interested in this. How did you meet her? She came to
long story.
Gambia.
Yeah, she came to. Yeah, well, I traveled quite a bit. I went to Norway, and 2012, I was in Norway for almost 9 months, and we met there for the first time, and then I came to Gambia. We had our official marriage, and
good.
And then 6 months later, I got my scholarship. I got a scholarship to study in Taiwan, wherein
scholarship from your federal government or
know
from
it's
the government
from
of Taiwan?
Taiwanese government. It's called it's a special organization of Taiwan that grant scholarship to students from allies of Taiwan.
Okay.
That time, allies of Taiwan. Yeah.
So Gambia was an ally of Taiwan.
At the time, yes.
So at that time, Gambia recognized Taiwan as a country?
Yes.
And you also believed that it was a country
at that
time?
Well, we believed, but the reality was that we all knew. I mean, we all knew it didn't have the support, enough support at the UN to be an independent country. But my
because
country by
of the
then,
power of China.
Yes, my country by then recognized Taiwan as an independent country. But even until now, even the staunch allies of Taiwan, like the US and EU, they don't recognize Taiwan as an independent state.
So now, do you personally, Abdoulie Manneh, recognize Taiwan as an independent sovereign country?
No, I go by the UN rules. If the rules change, then I will recognize Taiwan. But I do support autonomous regions to have voice to decide to be independent or not. But as long as based on the rules, it is still part of Taiwan. China, it's part of China. I recognize it as part of China.
So, okay. Let me rephrase my question. Should Taiwan be an independent country? Yes or no?
Good question, but I would say I won't be in the position to answer that, but Taiwanese people or Chinese people, because for right now, for example, let's say, okay, let's say let's say Gambia, we have Combo, and the Combo, people of Combo, no, let's say Casamas, people of Casamas in Senegal want to be independent. And I knew
independent of Senegalese government?
Yes, yes. And historically, I knew that we were all in the same kingdom, right? I would be happy to see Casamas actually join Gambia actually to be one country. I would love to, but I'm not in the position to say that or impose. I think Casamas people should decide that. So in Taiwan,
Okay,
they are divided.
yeah,
They are divided.
okay,
You have people who
they are
want
divided.
the status quo. That is two system, one country.
Okay, let me go back to my own earlier question. I'm sure if you can give me your honest opinion, no, nothing would happen to you because you're no longer in Taiwan. You're no longer under the watch of Xi Jinping. Let alone you being afraid of being caught by the Chinese Secret Service or something. Should Taiwan be independent? Just yes or no?
Yes, if it is not in the interest of the hegemonic United States. If it is not in it is not in the hegemonic interest of the United States.
So there's no yes or no answer to this question.
It's complex. I would say no if it is in the interest of both. I would say yes if it is in the interest of Taiwanese and Chinese. But right now, I think Taiwanese independence is not in the interest of Taiwanese, neither in China for Chinese. No, and neither for Chinese nor for Taiwanese.
So you are saying that even the people of Taiwan prefer to be under the grip and leadership or rule of the Chinese people?
Not in that sense. Okay. They would love to keep their system. Two system, one country. And Taiwan, Chinese support these two. But I wouldn't want to, it is a Chinese territory. Imagine saying people of Biafra want independence, but it's Nigerian territory.
Nigeria, yeah, but as a political analyst, you have the what should I say? You should talk about this. For example, you should.
I should.
Whether or not a particular region should be independent or autonomous.
Based on my bias, okay, my biases. if I look into my bias, because again, you need to look at the cost benefit effect, right? How beneficial is it to the people if they get independent? Sudan has taught me a lesson. After that, I never supported independent. Sudan. Exactly. After that, I don't support. I've never supported this fragmentation of countries. Of course. So that's my biased position in that sense. But again, you see that I would like to support, I sometimes can support some independence and not some. I just look at the cost benefit. So, but Taiwan, I don't think I think Taiwan economically is kind of, in the self-governing, right? But still, they are very interdependent. Taiwanese economy and Chinese economy. 80% of, I think about 80% of Taiwan's trade is with China.
Okay, so China is the major market of Taiwan.
So everything that is it. So
okay, yeah. For that explains why you said
industry.
Yeah, that explains why you said earlier that it is not in the interest of the Taiwanese people to be independent
from Taiwan, from China.
From China. So now you went to Taiwan somewhat like in the 2013, right? In 2013?
Yes. I was there for 2 years, yeah.
Briefly talk to me about what you saw in Taiwan, their system of government, their language, culture, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, interestingly, I will have to bring the scenario of like Russia or Ukraine, right? Similar stuff. But let's talk about Taiwan and China. These are the same people. You can say you have aboriginals in Taiwan, right? You have aboriginals. True.
What does that mean?
Aboriginals, the natives of Taiwan, this minority who are considered to be Taiwanese. They look like Southeast Asians, a little bit darker and things like that. You can even see some of them, you think they are Africans. But again, I mean, a bit darker. They are Southeast Asians.
Yeah.
Taiwan was invaded, but Taiwan was also briefly colonized by the Dutch, right? Just like Indonesia was, something like that, right?
By the Dutch, you mean Polish or Holland?
Holland,
Netherlands.
Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, briefly. And then colonized for 50 years, colonized by Japanese. Okay. But when you look at the population, most of them are ethnically Chinese. You have Taiwanese there. They can't speak Taiwanese. Most of the young people I met can't speak Taiwanese. In fact, the Chinese they speak is what I like more than the Chinese they speak in the mainland. The Chinese they speak is the traditional Chinese. It's not the simplified one. For me, it's like if you listen to British English and the American English. For me, British English, if I want to sound posh, for me, it's like Taiwanese Mandarin, the Chinese. For me, they sound more posh. You know, I like their Chinese more. So it's
I
like
got it.
Chinese fighting Chinese, Chinese hating Chinese. It's really like that. It's going to be a disaster. And I believe most of the Taiwanese want this status quo. They just want peace between brothers and things to be like the power, the autonomy they have now to remain like that they can be able to govern themselves, create their own constitution and stuff, but still be part of mainland China, which is fine.
Okay. You said brothers fighting brothers. So it's just like what is happening in Ukraine. Putin is fighting Zelensky. So it's like brothers are fighting each other.
And Zelensky is Russian speaker, ethnically Russian. And
okay, which means Putin is wrong. Putin is wrong invading Ukraine, killing his own brothers.
Interesting.
Yes or no?
No.
So he's not killing his brothers.
It is only Putin who has been working so hard to stop this bloodshed.
But he was the one that started it.
No.
In February 2021.
22. Yeah, 2022, right?
Rather. Yeah.
The war hasn't started in February 2021. It escalated.
Yeah.
It escalated in February 2022, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I stand to be corrected. I wanted to say 2022, of course.
Yeah, it has started in 2024 after the US-backed coup.
You're talking about 2014? 2014
yes.
Annexation of Crimea.
Yes, and
which Putin did.
No, there was no annexation by the way, I was in Crimea in 2013, May. I like 5 months after marrying my Russian wife. I didn't travel to Russia. I actually traveled to Ukraine, where my wife was in Crimea because she's a converted Muslim. And she was she decided to go to this Muslim community, Crimean Tatar Muslim community, just to stay there, to have environment. I decided to travel to Ukraine to visit her.
Good.
I was in Sevastopol in 2013 May, and I saw Russian flags in Sevastopol. I thought I was in Russia, but then I was in Ukraine. I haven't heard.
So what happened? The West says that it was Putin that invaded Crimea and annexed it, made it part of Russia in 2014. Now you're saying that you saw flags, Russian flags, there
on administrative buildings in Sevastopol.
Okay, that justified and proved the West's claims.
No, that means Sevastopol has always been the naval base of Russia. And when there was an agreement for Ukraine's independence and to draw and to keep the Soviet borders of Ukraine, which means pieces of Russia that were taken from Russia and unilaterally given to Ukraine. They are Russian lands. They were given. You can give land, but you cannot give people to others. These were Russians. Have always been Russians, mentally, culturally, language. I was in Crimea. I heard no one speaking. I didn't hear anyone speaking Ukrainian. They were all speaking Russian. It's not an invasion.
Okay, but territorially speaking, Crimea is supposed to be and was under the territory of Ukraine.
No. Interestingly, how did Crimea become Ukraine? Crimea had always been Russia. By the way, in 1776, if I could remember quite well, it was through wartime agreement between the Ottomans and Russian Empire. They took it from the Ottoman Empire. It was Turkish. That's why.
So now you are using history. You're using history to legitimize taking back what Putin claims to be his.
No, Putin didn't claim to even take Crimea before the coup. But Putin wouldn't allow.
What kind of coup are you talking about?
The 2014 coup, Maidan coup, the coup d'etat, the overthrowing of the democratically elected president.
Backed by Russia.
Pro-Russian. It doesn't matter who you support.
Remind me his name, Alexander Lukashenko.
No,
that's Belarusian president.
Yanukovych.
Victor Yanukovych. A very, very loyal person to the Kremlin.
Interestingly.
The people of Ukraine, Ukraine said that they were tired of him, and that's why they rose against him. They protested against him, and they saw him out of the power.
Ukraine, it wouldn't be right if people say this. Ukraine cannot be seen as a unipolar society. Ukraine is a bipolar, actually. It's supposed to be multipolar, but it is not even multipolar because, of course, I would say ethnically, there are many ethnicities. But the main ethnicity, or maybe let's say two, Ukrainians in the West and the Russians. Then you have Tatars, the Turkish, and the Hungarians, and the Romanians, and all the small ones. These are all, even Greeks are there.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. That makes it complex.
So, but it is bipolar politically.
What does that mean?
That means the society is either pro-Russian, pro-Russian culture, pro-Russian candidate, or pro-Russian or a pro-EU or Western candidate. And this pro-Russian candidate won, not because of Russia, but because it has always been like this. The people of Donbass and some of them in the south, so from the east, Kharkov, the ones that are historically Russian speakers, historically these regions always voted for Russian candidates, for pro-Russian candidates. But Yanukovych was actually pro-EU guy. And Russia had no problem for NATO to join EU. They even promoted. They had no problem with that.
For Ukraine to join EU?
Yeah, they never had problem with that.
Why are you telling me that they had no problem with EU?
They had problem with
NATO.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point of contention, of course, because Putin thinks and feels threatened when Ukraine joins NATO.
And that has been always a contention since almost the collapse of Soviet Union from the 90s.
In the 1990s,
Russia always
during the Gorbachev's era.
Exactly. Russia always acted in good faith. They withdrew 4,000 soldiers from Eastern Germany in good faith, with the condition that NATO wouldn't expand to the east. And the West deceived them.
Remind me the name of that agreement. Was it the Minsk agreement?
No, the Minsk agreement is just fast forward to 2014, 2015.
Okay, yeah.
Again, by the way, even though these pro-Russian regions, except Crimea was a quick stuff, because when the coup happened, Crimea immediately, Russia, they will not lose they won. It's even illogical, but they said it. Putin said this in 2008 to the president of the United States. I think it was George Bush.
Yeah.
That if you
2008.
Exactly, we will take Crimea.
Was Obama.
Yes, and Crimea Crimea wasn't officially given to Ukraine. It was a Ukrainian leader of Ukrainian Soviet leader who handed Crimea to Ukraine just like that. There's nothing like a revolution.
No written agreement?
No agreement, no referendum, just handed it. Maybe in good faith, because Ukraine wouldn't be better without giving these regions that are economically viable. So Soviet Union was trying to be fair, to give regions, to areas, to countries in Soviet Union for economic benefit. That was the reason.
Okay, let's. I want to ask you something about the Chinese and the Taiwanese, but it seems that we're kind of running out of time. But let me pin you on one thing. Now the coup that you claimed happened in 2014. How would you explain it to my viewers? What happened? How?
I will tell your viewers to go and search videos of Victoria Nuland.
Okay, Victoria.
In Maidan protest, riots, before the riot start, they are speaking. Can you imagine a foreign government official going to another country, joining their protest against their democratically elected president and sharing cookies to them?
Okay, you said foreigners. Who and who?
Victoria Nuland, I can remember, but she was there with some US officials on the stage speaking.
Yeah. Was she American?
Yeah, and Victoria Nuland, yes, she's an American. She's a secretary. I can't remember quite well now what position. But she is the cheerleader. She and these Blinken and others, and Lindsey Graham and others.
But it was not Anthony Blinken was not the Secretary of State of the United States
at that time. No, because
he's John Kerry.
He's an ideologue. But I'm saying Nuland was there. Nuland is an architect to all these problems in Ukraine today, and Biden family, of course. So Nuland was there.
Hunter Biden.
Yes, Hunter Biden. Nuland was there. In the protest. And this, what happened? They hire snipers, CIA operation, to shoot at police.
Do you have evidence to that?
Videos are there, so I will tell your viewers to go and search Ukraine on Fire, a documentary by award-winning Oliver Stone.
Okay, Ukraine on Fire.
You will see all this evidence there. By the way, he is now updating the video. There will be new part. A documentary, but let them search it. Ukraine on Fire.
Yeah. Okay. So you believe that it was the US that orchestrated what you call coup?
But it's coup. It's coup. I mean, removing an democratic elected person with not through election is coup. It's coup. Presidents can be pro-West, no problem. They can be pro-EU, no problem. But they can't be pro-Russian.
So are you saying that there is a double standard to that?
Double standard, indeed. And after all, they are Russians.
But Russia has been supporting people that have that are believed to be dictators, that are believed to be to have done a lot of atrocities.
So it's America. So it's America.
Bashar al-Assad.
So it's America.
He was accused of gassing his people.
That was
Russia helped him. Iran also helped him. That's why he is still in power.
That was found to be a lie, that he gassed his people. It was a false flag. White helmet people did it, and the evidence is out there. The UNCP, I think there's the whistleblower from these chemical.
IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency.
No, not that. But anyway, it's there. But if you can go to this journalists also expose these lies. The gray zone journalist, the gray zone journalists expose this lie. So it's a blunder, just as usual, a false flag.
Yeah, in the beginning of this interview, I told you that there's going to be a lot of debate, and that we're gonna have to agree to disagree. China has been ruling with iron fists. Taiwan and Hong Kong. Do you believe that?
No. How is China ruling? How can China is not ruling Taiwan with iron fist? Taiwanese are ruling themselves.
Taiwanese are ruling them. Okay, why hasn't China allowed them to be independent? They should have a voice at the United Nations. They should
Why?
have, yeah, they should have an ambassador there. They should have one vote in the General Assembly and so on and so forth. But why is it that China, I don't know, China doesn't want Taiwan to be just like Nigeria?
Yeah. Why won't Nigeria allow Biafra to go?
Well, go and ask the president of Nigeria.
Oh, why wouldn't America allow Puerto Rico and Hawaii to go?
Okay, go and ask Biden. Yeah.
It's the same reason, right? It's the same reason. Nations do not want to lose territories, especially when they are strategically important militarily. So Taiwan is strategically important for China. To be a colony of the US, their adversary. If there is no US, probably they will allow Taiwan to be independent. Likewise, Russia has made a mistake to allow Ukraine to be independent with its historic territories.
And now it is trying to reclaim it.
They were not even reclaiming it. I want to make this point clear. In 2015, Donbass people voted to join Russia. Russia refused and emphasized.
In 2022,
2015,
Putin acknowledged.
Putin acknowledged the mistake of refusing them their referendum to join Russia. He said, no, you will remain Ukraine, but with special autonomy to be allowed to use your own language. Because he trusted Ukrainians and the West that they will honor the Minsk agreement. They didn't. He was a fool. Putin was a fool.
And that's why he's now so aggressive?
No, he's not aggressive still, because his military leaders would want to end this war and go to war fast enough. But no, he went there hoping that Ukrainians will welcome him with flowers, because the military came to intimidate them to accept this agreement, right?
Yeah.
But no, he came and got disappointed. He came and they even abused a lot of soldiers, Russian soldiers, just because they are just marching. They were not going to kill and bomb their own people. Ukrainians are brothers. They don't want that.
Yeah,
so Putin is more passive.
Yeah.
More passive here than his generals. Again, he's making a mistake. Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure I'm working on organizing a panel interview with some Western academics, plus you, and then a Nigerian political and diplomatic analysts. I would like the panel to have like 3 or 4 experts, so as to have this very, very important debate and conversation about this hot issue that is trending now in the world. But before then, we're running out of time, and let's see if